Hello, it's Marty Cesario for Mountain TV with Sportswomen of Colorado. And for this week's segment on The Vibe, we have head coach Dosha Woods from the University of Denver women's basketball. Woods is in her 5th season leading the DU Pioneers after 2 decades as an assistant with Tulane, Oregon State, Missouri, New Mexico State, and Western Illinois. Jennifer Anderson-Ehrlich, she's the executive director for Sportswomen of Colorado. She's also got college basketball on her resume with MSU Denver and Southeast Missouri State. So let's go. Here's Jen and Dosha.
Hey, Coach Woods, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. We're like the scratchy throat club.
I know. Well, I prefer like the raspy, because that just sounds, at least people might think we can sing or something.
We definitely can't sing. We're the raspy throat club, which tells us that basketball season is in session.
100%. Like,
yeah.
You know what's crazy is I wouldn't consider myself a big yeller. So for my voice to sound like this, I'm just like, what happened? So
I can blame it on the allergies, yelling.
That's fair.
So your roster looks a little different than last year. Tell me what you're most excited for as your season is currently underway.
Just the new faces. I think, obviously everyone's trying to navigate this new landscape of college athletics and what does that mean? And, this is year 25 for me overall, coaching year 6 here at DU. Last season was definitely difficult in multiple ways. And, the off season gave us a chance to just reset as a staff, as a program, new faces on the bench as well as it relates to the staff. So we have a little mix. We have a local flavor in kind of our 3 local kids, international flavor with 4 from Spain and 1 from Serbia. And then we went the junior college route as well. And I really, what I've liked about it is it's really given me a chance to be rejuvenated as well as a coach. Things, you kind of get so thick in everything. And I'm excited about this team. We're so young. And I think that's been the beauty of the start to the season is, each game they get better at something and coming off a 2-game kind of win streak and the way that we've had to win those games. I'm just really proud of what's in the future for us.
I love that. What's the energy inside the locker room that maybe your fans don't see from the outside?
In all honesty, I think, it's been a slow climb to kind of build the program. And after we won on Sunday, but I get in the locker room, I'm thinking, okay, we start out the season 0-3. We've got 2 in a row. And I thought there'd be some excitement. And they were just like more like a sigh of relief. So I think trying to teach it and being okay, like celebrating yourself, being okay, clapping when you do well, because that's what all this work is for. So I think some of the things behind the scenes is just we have a gritty team, one that's, we can win a lot of different ways. And for them to kind of get okay with that and then to celebrate it. We're doing all this work. They're in finals this week. They'll have about 6 weeks on campus where everybody else is, at home enjoying their families. So the hard work is paying off. So I would say that we're really trying to understand what it looks like to it's okay to have fun in the moment, to clap for yourself, clap for each other, that the work does pay off. And when it does pay off, celebrate it.
Oh my gosh, we all got into sports because it was fun, right? And
yes,
that's come up a lot for me recently with different people that I've interacted with from in the tennis world to the basketball world. We all got into it because it's fun. And you said another word that's popular, grit, and another one about pressure. So how do you think pressure has changed since you played in college? Or even since your first year of coaching? It's very different.
Yeah, and that might be the understatement of the day. I think, one thing I really enjoyed about being a player is, you could have a good game, a bad game, and there wasn't any pressure either way, right? Because people had to have the internet. They had to kind of wait the next day. I remember waiting for the USA Today to come out because they kept all the scores, right, of all the games, and that's how you kept track. Now, pretty much the game ends and you're already looking to see if you made somebody's highlight tape or if you made the highlight. So I don't envy this generation at all. And I really don't envy you guys as parents that try to have to parent this way, with the pressure of, if you have a good game, then, of course, that's the expectation. You have a bad game. And then I think how you never have a chance to shut it off. So I think the pressure is just so different. And we try to do our best as coaches to try to help, balance it out and kind of keep things in perspective. And, being where your feet are is something that is a saying that I try to live it more than I say it, because it does get hard to try to, pour everything into something and you're like, okay, I'm not seeing results both for the players and the coaches. So I feel like how society is set up, it kind of can trick you into the pressure is more than what it needs to be. And at the end of the day, I tell our players, this is glorified PE. Like we are literally at glorified PE, and I get to coach basketball. I get to coach basketball for a living. I don't have to. And you guys get to play and get a great education paid for in the process, and not to lose sight of that.
Yeah, it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just a game of basketball that we all started playing because it brought us joy and we loved it.
That part.
That part. Even though the pressures can feel vast.
Yes.
Yeah. I love your players. I love how interactive they are when with the kids at Hamilton Gymnasium when we come to games. Your players always take the time to high five and sign autographs. And your players have also ran some clinics for Sportswomen of Colorado with local elementary schools. I just want to give them a shout out because they are upstanding young women and leaders within the Denver community. And I love the energy at Hamilton Gymnasium. I really want people in Denver to come watch your girls and cheer you on.
Absolutely. I think, I obviously, if you're a DU fan, you know about our hockey team and they play in Magnus. And I personally like the size of Hamilton and being interactive and thanking our fans and, signing autographs. All of those things are a staple of our program. I think part of what most people across the board, why they like coming to women's basketball and women's sports is you get that interaction as opposed to sometimes like, the men, there's probably a few more people there, a lot more going on. And so that is definitely a staple. And then us getting out in the community. I think our teams this year and the ones in the past have all done a phenomenal job of getting out, and us doing community service is a staple of our program. Gratitude is one of our core values, and this is a way of us showing gratitude. We have a huge opportunity here. And just in terms of like the young kids having the opportunity, when I was a kid, I was a ball girl for Washburn University, which is a local D2 in Topeka, where I'm from. And I know that's a big reason why I sit here today. I was so inspired by those teams being able to interact in the locker room. When I think about what I do now for a living and how much they just let me be around as a little, a seventh grader, eighth grader, being in places I really shouldn't have been with them on the bus. And they really just embraced me. And I know how much of a difference it made and how much of an impact they had. And so we try to provide those same opportunities for our players as well.
You do, and you provide them in partnership with us, and I'm most grateful. And I'll never forget leaving Fort Logan Elementary last year, and your players had brought their schedule with their team photo on the back, and this little girl looked at me and she went, there's a basketball team like this full of girls, and it clicked. I'm like, yeah, they just coached you for the past hour. But she was like, I never knew. And that's less than 5 miles away from your campus. So I would just encourage anybody to go check out one of your games and cheer on your team. And I just want to say thank you. It was great catching up with you.
Thank you for supporting Sportswomen of Colorado. They've been telling these stories for over 50 years, and they're just catching up.